Welcome back, everybody, to the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise here on MLB The Show 20. If you remember at the end of last episode, we were pretty much at the end of August. I plan on playing a game against the Phillies and then 2 minor league games as well, but unfortunately my recording was all messed up. I actually simulated to like the 8th or something, which is the end of the minor league season. So I was worried that I wouldn't get another minor league game in, but thankfully I hold 2 save files for my series and I had another one saved. So we will get to watch the minor league teams in action once more. But unfortunately, all 3 of those games ended up being pretty good. So, oh well, we'll just have to do with this instead. So the plan is we're going to play a AAA game, a AA game, and then simulate up to this Detroit Tigers series. We're going to play the game on the 9th because the 9th is my real-life birthday. So I kind of wanted to play it there. But first things first, in September, teams now have to have 28 players on the roster. You're not allowed to have any less, which is kind of weird. Currently, we have 25. You're allowed to have 26. There just aren't 26 players I want to have on the roster. So the players who will be being moved up are going to be Yaxel Rios, a reliever in AAA. The next one is going to be Cole Tucker. Tucker was with the Major League team for most of the season. We sent him down to AAA pretty much at the trade deadline, and he has played a little bit better. He hasn't been outstanding in AAA, but I didn't really have anyone else I really wanted to call up. But, I mean, he was bad. He barely had an OPS above 400. That is dreadful. But we will move him up. We're not, going to make the playoffs or anything. I guess it's okay to give him some more Major League experience. And then the last one is going to be Cody Ponce, a reliever with AAA. He's not yet played in the majors, unlike Tucker and Yaxel Rios. So he will get to make his Major League debut. That will not be shown in this episode because he made his Major League debut before that Tigers game. So we would make a few more corresponding moves, including Adrian Valero going up to AAA, Jeff Hartlib up to AAA. Mainly guys moving up to AAA on the AA team to replace the guys who got called up to the majors, and then players in Single A who were moved up to AA. So we're going to start with the Altoona Curve, the AA affiliate, as the main prospects on this team, or at least in the lineup, are Mickey Moniak, Travis Swaggerty, and Leover Piguero. Those are the 3 names to watch out for. They all have B potential. There aren't a whole lot of guys on the AA team who have a ton of potential. The AAA team is where the farm system is really stacked. And then looking at the rotation, the names to watch are Brennan Malone, Jose Suarez, and the starter for today's game, 2019 first-round pick, Quinn Priester. And then in the bullpen, there are a few young players. None of these guys really have a ton of potential, unfortunately, but oh well, it is what it is. Barnes Canyon Ballpark would be the setting for today's game as the 78-56 Harrisburg Senators would be taking on your 62-72 Altoona Curve. Here's a look at both lineups for today's game. 1-9 on the mound for the Curve would be first-round rookie, I guess not really rookie, but first-round pick Quinn Priester, 6-3, 3.17 ERA. He's had a really solid season for the team, but the start for his game today would not be great, as it's the third baseman Drew Mendoza who goes deep for a 2-run shot here in the first inning. I'm sorry you couldn't see the actual hit. That's been an issue with recording this series for a while. I have figured it out, though, so that shouldn't really be an issue anymore. I have gotten a few comments about that. Anyway, Ben Bramer on the mound for the Senators. Not as good of this season, 2-3, 5.6 ERA, as here's Travis Swaggerty, the top prospect on the Altoona Curve. He's going to rip a double into right field. However, the inning would end as the shortstop, Steven Alamice, will ground out. Let's move on to the second now. The Senators have runners on the corners with no outs, so this is an opportunity for them to really make this lead even bigger. However, there's going to be a strikeout, and then with 2 gone, grounded to the first baseman, Michael Jones, who rather than stepping on the bag, flips it to second, which is kind of interesting. Going to the bottom of the second now, Randall Pearsall strikes out, so does Michael Jones. The Senators are looking good early as we move to the third. 1 is not enough for Drew Mendoza, his second home run of the afternoon, and the Senators will make it a 3-0 lead. Definitely not ideal for Priester. He's going to pick things up. There's a nice strikeout on Ian Sadgall. Travis Swaggerty now strikes out here at the bottom of the third. Ben Bramer looking really good up to this point. Here's Alec Keller leading off the 4th inning. That's going to be a base hit due to the bad defensive play by Steven Alamice. But the curve would turn, too, as their infield is more chemistry than a science project. And we transition to the bottom of the 4th. Mickey Moniak, he will strike out fishing. That's something in the dirt. And these batters just cannot get anything going for the curve on the bottom of the 5th inning. Now, that one nearly a home run, but it is caught at the warning track by Cole Freeman. As we move to the 6th, there's Swaggerty with a single. Only the 5th hit of the day for the curve. Believe it or not, all 5 base hits are by lefties, which is ironic because Ben Bramer happens to be a lefty. And then here's Travis Swaggerty, his base hit all for nothing. He gets caught in a pickle. And then we move to the 7th. Nice play at 3rd from Jesse Madrano to end the inning and prevent a run from scoring. As we move to the bottom of the 7th, here's Bly Madris. He's going to go deep into right. Another lefty getting a nice hit off of a left-handed starter. I think still up to this point, none of the righties have gotten a base hit, which is ridiculous. The Senators would make a pitching change. Aaron Barrett in for the Senators. He would finish out the inning strong. As we move to the 8th, Miguel De Pozo in for the curve, has got some extracurricular activity in center from Swaggerty. I don't know why he dove there, but okay. One gone now. Later in the inning, Swaggerty decides to play that one safe, but instead absolutely totally botches it. He misses the ball. That'll result in a triple. Run comes home to score, and the Senators will make it a 4-1 lead. And then finally, a normal catch from Swaggerty. Run heading home. The throw at the plate is just barely not in time, and Harrisburg will make their lead 5-1. The bottom of the 8th would go strong for the Senators. Aaron Barrett gets out of the inning with Travis Swaggerty getting a weak flyout to the catcher. As we move to the 9th, Joel Cesar is in for Altoona, who's had a phenomenal season. 2.13 ERA, one of the best pitchers in this bullpen, as he will get that man down looking, and then he gets another batter to strike out looking as well. Ryan Brindley on for the save here for Harrisburg. He's not their regular closer, but he's going to try to finish this one off. Mickey Moniak, however, is going to try to get him a run for his money. As Moniak goes deep, his 12th home run of the season, and Altoona will make this game a little bit closer, as it is now 5-2. The Senators would not waste any time. They make a pitching change. Dino Salas is in, and the game would end as Bly Madris gets the fly out to 3rd. And Harrisburg gets the win by a final score of 5-2. Unfortunately, the Curve are pretty much out of playoff contention now, regardless if they won this game or not. As here's a look at the box score. The righties just did not play well. 3-hit game for Madris. He had a home run along with Mickey Moniak. Swaggerty also had an extra base hit. Those are the only 3 lefties in the lineup, mind you. Quinn Priester got the loss. 7 innings. He could have pitched better, but he also could have done worse. So now looking at the AAA team, they are also 62-72 and pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. If the Indianapolis Indians lose, they are eliminated. But this is where all the top prospects are hanging out. Lazaro Armenteros, 71 overall of 88 potential. Cabrian Hayes, one of the 3 A potential guys here. Don't forget Dylan Carlson, the top prospect in the organization. I'm 99% sure he will be an everyday player at the major league level next season. And then the other A potential guy, O'Neal Cruz, is also very solid. Of Cruz and Hayes, I think one of them will start next season off in the majors, and the other one will be in AAA. Not entirely sure yet. And then the only other notable player on this roster is Tim frickin' Tebow. Then looking at the rotation, the 2 names to mainly watch out for are Adonis Medina and Domingo Robles. I wanted to watch the Medina start, but that was one of the games that the video got messed up on, so we're going to have to watch JT Brubaker instead. Here's a look at the bullpen headlined by Emmanuel Clase, who, of course, was just sent down like last week or something by the Pirates, as they're going to be taking on the Columbus Clippers, the AAA affiliate of the Cleveland Indians. Coincidence? I think not. This team has a bunch of A potential guys, though. Corbin Carroll, who I guess was acquired from the Diamondbacks, Tyler Freeman, Nolan Jones, all really solid players. On the mound for the Indianapolis Indians is going to be JT Brubaker, 7-11, 4.49 ERA. He's been below average this year, but the rest of the rotation's been pretty solid. As here is Yariel Gonzalez. He's just a window shopper. Say it with me, kids. because he's just looking. Kyle Dowdy on the mound for the Clippers. He's not having a great season himself. 2-9, 5.61 ERA. Eek. As here's Will Craig up at the dish. He's going to swing at the low and inside curveball, or not curveball, changeup. As we move to the second, speaking of the changeup, it will strike out Nolan Jones, one of the top prospects in the organization. 2 gone, runner on first for Connor Maribel. Weak hit, but it gets past the glove of O'Neal Cruz, and that'll bring up Bo Taylor. With 2 on, 2 outs, it's going to be a fly out to left. Nice hustle by Tim Tebow to make the play as we move to the bottom of the second. Here's O'Neal Cruz, one of 2 top 50 prospects in the organization. He's going to strike out. On to the bottom of the third now, Lazaro Armenteros, acquired in the Keone Keller trade a couple of months ago. That ball goes off the wall. 1 run will come home to score, and that'll be an RBI double for Armenteros. And there's only 1 out, remember. However, the Indians would do nothing more. As here's Daniel Johnson. He's going to strike out. JT Brubaker looking really good up to this point. But then here comes Nolan Jones. That ball will go deep into right field for a 2-out double. So now the Clippers have a runner in scoring position. That would bring up Isaiah Larkin, who was in that Emmanuel Clase trade. So this is a former member of the Pirates organization. And he will get that ball right to O'Neal Cruz, who cannot make the play. So that would bring up Connor Maribel. He's going to fly out to left. Tim Tebow under it to make the play, as we would move on now to the bottom of the fourth for Dylan Carlson, the number 9 prospect in baseball, the number 1 for the Pirates. He's going to start the inning off with a single into center. Solid game for Carlson in this one. And then the next batter, O'Neal Cruz. As I mentioned earlier, the other prospect in the top 50 rankings, he will rip a single into right field. And then here's Adrian Valero in his AAA debut. He rips a single. Of course, formerly of the AA team. He had a really good season for them. So now the bases are loaded, no outs, and it's Tebow time. Tim Tebow rips a single into center. 2 runs will come home to score. That's Carlson and Cruz. And the Indians will take a 3-0 lead. It's Tebow mania, baby. Tim Tebow played really well in this game for the Indians, as here is Christian Kelly now, the catcher. Later in the frame, he's going to get a double. There is some confusion on the base passes, but everybody is safe. Adrian Valero will come home to score, and it is now 4-0. Here's Will Craig now. The base is juiced. 2 outs. What does he do? Grounder to the shortstop. Tyler Freeman makes the play. Very anticlimactic ending to the frame as the bases are left loaded. But the Indians do drive home 3 as we move to the 5th. There is a bad play from Adrian Valero. He decides to go for the double play. Instead, it's going to result in the bases being loaded as the Clippers would get a single into center. 2 runs come home to score, and the lead would be cut in half to 2. Inning ends as Nolan Jones strikes out. We're going to move to the bottom of the 5th. Kyle Nelson in for the Clippers. 69.1 innings. Very, very nice. Here's Adrian Valero with 2 outs. He's going to fly out to right. So very good inning of work for this young man as we move on to the 6th inning. Connor Maribel up at the dish. He's going to strike out on the inside slider. That pitch from Brubaker has fooled hitters all day long. There's another inside slider. However, the batter will capitalize, and then I don't know what Dylan Carlson was doing that play, but that's going to result in a run. I said this guy's going to be a major leaguer next year. That's Pee-wee defense from Carlson, and Corbin Carroll is able to get the double. Now 2 on, 2 outs. Nice play by Lazaro Armenteros tracking the baseball, but still, Dylan Carlson deserves to get benched for that one. We're going to move to the bottom of the 6th. Weakly hit ball from Tim Tebow, but the former Heisman Trophy would reach first with a single, and then he would do nothing, I guess, as a couple batters later, Lazaro Armenteros, nearly safe at first, does not like the call. And we have a pitching change for Indianapolis. Matt Eckelman is in, 2.68 ERA. Very respectable, as here is Nolan Jones with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. He's going to rip a single. So that brings up a very interesting opportunity for Isaiah Larkin. And he gets that ball nicely into right field. Can Carlson catch it? Yes, he does. Dylan Carlson makes up for the blunder in the previous inning, as that catch likely saves a run. On to the bottom of the 7th, Dalibert Syrian. Hey, it's my good buddy Siri. We all know Siri on this channel very well. As look at that play in center, or attempted play in center, I should say, by Corbin Carroll. He misses the diving play, which, when you miss those type of plays, you just look stupid. Inning does end as O'Neal Cruz will line out to second. Nice play by Mike Freeman. Don't know if he's related to Tyler. And then, speaking of O'Neal Cruz, he makes a nice play at short. However, the runner would be safe. So here's Bo Taylor, the next batter. He's going to ground into a 4-6-3 double play. The Indians' infield making a nice play. We move to the bottom of the 8th. Siri will strike out Adrian Valero. And then we're going to move to the 9th. Emmanuel Clase in for the save. 2 outs. And the Clippers will tie the game. Daniel Johnson goes deep. Clase blows the save. And Columbus will tie it at 4. Ben Crowthen at the bottom of the 9th. He has not pitched well this year. The top of the lineup up for the Indians is Lazaro Armenteros. Gets that one into center. But Corbin Carroll robs him of a base hit. Those types of plays don't make you look stupid, folks. Brian Hayes, the last hope for regulation, and he will be safe at first. Nolan Jones was trying to go for the sexy barehanded throw. Does not work out. So here's Will Craig. Full count pitch. Hit very nicely into left. And it goes over the glove of Connor Maribel. Hayes will not try to go home. That would prove to be the right decision. So 2 runners in scoring position. 2 outs for Dylan Carlson. And the Clippers are going to wisely walk him. So that brings up O'Neal Cruz, who isn't too much worse himself. But this is a lefty-on-lefty crime. I guess that's why they did it. As Cruz will strike out. And we move to the 10th. Isaiah Larkin up. He rips a single on Emmanuel Clase. Fitting, since these two were in that same trade. So now the Clippers have themselves a runner on for Bo Taylor. Shop and gap. Places that one perfectly in right center field. The speedy Larkin will round third and be home safely standing up. And the Clippers will take a 5-4 lead. So not only will Clase blow the save, but if the Indians don't score, he's going to get the loss. Robert Broom in for Columbus. 0.1 innings of work here in AAA. Quite the experience. He's also a sidearm guy, too. As here's Tim Tebow with 1 out. He's going to get his 3rd base hit of the day. And the tie-in run is aboard. 2 gone now for Christian Kelly. That's a weak flyout. Yariel Gonzalez is under to make the play. And the Clippers steal a game from the Indianapolis Indians. This is a game that the Indians should have won. But instead it will go to the Clippers. And now Indianapolis is eliminated from postseason contention. So all 3 of the Pirates teams are basically eliminated. By the 9th of September, the Pirates would be out of playoff contention as well. Here's a look at the box score. Only 2 extra base hits the entire game. Christian Kelly and Lazaro Armenteros. They both drove in runs along with Tim Tebow. The pitching outside of Clase's choke wasn't too bad, as the curve finished 63 and 77. And the where is the Indians record? I think they might have won an extra game or 2. I don't know, but it is worth noting that Josh Bell is the favorite for the NL MVP at this point. He is past Nolan Arenado. Arenado still ranks ahead of him in most statistical categories, by the way. And obviously he's better defensively, too. So I'm a little bit confused why Bell is over him. But we're not going to complain, are we? As the Pirates head out to Comerica Park to take on the MLB worst 50-95 Detroit Tigers. Shout out to my friend Franchise Gaming, by the way. He does have a Tigers franchise on his channel. I'll leave his link in the description if you do want to check that series out as well. Here's a look at both lineups, 1-9, as it's Daniel Norris on the mound for Detroit, 6-13, but the record is not what does the talking. 3.57 ERA, that is a very respectable number, solid whip as well. As here is Josh Bell, the MVP favorite, gonna show why he is that as he grounds into a double play. I guess that helps the tank, I don't know. We're gonna move to bottom of the 1st. Joe Musgrove on the hill for Pittsburgh. What a season he's had. 2.53 ERA, 1.12 whip. Really one of the few bright spots on this entire roster. As here's Miguel Cabrera up, the veteran. He's going to strike out. Cabrera nearing a few big milestones. He's 4 home runs away from 500 and about 50 hits away from 3,000. as here is Seth DILLY. He goes deep into right. I'm not allowed to say his last name unless, if I do, I would get demonetized. That's what happened in the last episode. So he's going to go by Seth Drink or Seth Beverage. But when he does something good like that, he's going to be Seth DILLY. His 4th home run of his major league career. Let's move to the bottom of the second. Jonathan Scope goes down looking the free agent signing from the Twins. To be honest, I don't know why he's still on this Tigers roster. They should have traded him for value by now. As here is Kevin Newman. He's going to get a base hit off of the bad defensive play from Isaac Paredes. So 2 on, 2 outs for your NL MVP favorite, Josh Bell. And he strikes out on the changeup. As we move to the bottom of the third, that ball deflects off of Joe Musgrove. You got to wonder if he's okay, and he would be totally fine. No injury graphic or anything. He's going to strike out Travis Demerite. And then later in the inning, 6-4-3 double play. The Pirates would get out of that one. Let's move to the 4th now. Here's Tim Beckham. Not an everyday player, but he would get the start since in American League Stadium, there's DHs. So he would get the start, and he's going to capitalize as he goes deep into left. His 4th home run of the season, 450 feet. And the Pirates will take a 2-0 lead, and they're going to turn another double play. Nice defense from Pittsburgh. And we move now to the 5th. Colin Moran leading the inning off. Lefty on lefty crime, but Moran will go deep, and Pittsburgh will make it 3-0. Colin Moran's not much of a power hitter to begin with, only his 10th home run of the season, and he is an everyday player. So, a little bit of a surprise to see him hit it off of a lefty. And then here's Josh Bell grounding into another double play. He has not been too good in this one. On to the bottom of the 5th now. Here is Isaac Paredes going deep into left for his first major league home run. Would you look at that? He's one of the best hitting prospects of this entire Tigers organization. So there's a chance he hits many dingers in a Tigers jersey. The first of hopefully many for that young man. As the Tigers are going to get a pitching change. Ivan Nova, the veteran, checking into the game. His first batter would be Tim Beckham. He placed that ball nearly identical to his last home run. Instead, this one goes off of the foul pole. 5th home run of the season, 2nd of the day. And Pittsburgh will double their lead, making it 4-2. But they're not done yet. Francisco Mejia would get that ball off of the wall in right, nearly a dinger. But instead, it's going to be a double. So there's 2 runners in scoring position, no outs. The next batter, Adam Frazier, will be intentionally walked. So the bases are loaded, no outs for Guillermo Heredia. He's also not an everyday player. He's getting the start for Gregory Polanco, who would get the day off in this one, as Heredia will get a sacrifice fly into right field. Run comes home to score. That is, I believe, Seth Beverage. And now it is 5-2, as that ball would go into center. Another sacrifice fly. Run comes home to score. And Pittsburgh now leads it 6-2. Jordan Zimmerman entering for Detroit. Weird timing, I should say, to make a pitching change, but okay. As he would get out of the inning successfully. Here's Harold Castro. Now in the bottom of the 6th, he's going to strike out. On to the 7th, Cameron Maben. He's going to ground into a 4-6-3 double play. That would end the afternoon for Joe Musgrove, setting 7 quality innings of work. As we move on to the 8th, Gregory Soto in for Detroit. ERA nearly at 7. That is not pretty, as Francisco Mejia gets a hanging curveball up in the zone, and he will capitalize. As Mejia, his 12th home run of the season, that's his 3rd with Pittsburgh. And I think it's worth noting that all 3 of them have been hit in-game by me. And I've played in 3 games since the Pirates traded for him. So he's hit 0 home runs with this team in the sim. That's kind of sad. As Richard Rodriguez in here for the bottom of the 8th, he's going to strike out Isaac Paredes, who had a home run earlier. And we move to the 9th. Colin Moran, he went deep earlier as well. He's going to strike out on the inside fastball. And we move to the bottom of the 9th. Rodriguez still in the game. Final out for Detroit is going to be Miggy, as he strikes out on the slider, and the Pirates get the win 7-2. It does sort of hurt the tank a little bit, losing to a very bad team in Detroit, but I don't see the Tigers really passing the Pirates in record. I think Pittsburgh's like 7 or 8 games ahead of them. Here's a look at the box score. The team played pretty well. Musgrove pitched exceptional. And the bats did well outside of Josh Bell. He went 0 for 5. Come on, this is the NL MVP favorite, and I always do so well with him in game. He went 0 for 5 today. That's not great. So we would simulate, or we would do some simulating shortly. As you can see, we are officially eliminated from playoff contention. But I would simulate to pretty much the end of the season, actually to the last game of the season. The Pirates are currently 65-96, going to be taking on the Reds. And as you can see, the Reds have something to play for. They have clinched a playoff spot, but they're tied with the Cubs in the division. So I'm sure they would like to win the division, not have to worry about the wild card game. I'm not going to show stats or anything right now. Next episode will be a full season recap. We'll play that game against Cincinnati and then go over stats and standings, everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, have a good one. Deuces.